So welcome everybody to the February 10th outreach meeting for Ortelius. Got a few people dropping in here. We have more AI bots than people. They're going to have a big discussion on them by themselves and figure out how to solve world peace.
Are you telling me that Julia is an AI bot?
I kicked them all out, so we should be good to go. So I'll turn over to you, Tracy.
Righty. So the good news is Sasha got elected to the CDF governing board.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're happy
Why don't
for
we
him.
see Sasha now?
He is the man inside. All right, take it quick. Tony, Arvin, Kate is not here. Udkarsh and Julia. Oh, and there's Jing. Hey, Jing.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, Ching.
Yay! Kate got her proper swag. It fits you
Looks
too.
nice.
It looks good on you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you were talking about women's sizes when you were asking about sizes. So thank you for sending the right size.
Good. I'm glad I figured it out. So yes, super excited that we have now an Ortelius member at the CDF governing board. It is spectacular that that happened. You know, it is a voting thing. I assume, oh, look, Arvin's got his on too. It's funny because I was going to have a meeting today. I was going to put mine on and I ended up putting a sweater on because it's a little chilly out.
Yeah, I just used it today for recording a video. That's why it came handy today.
Kate also got a pair of socks and a t-shirt.
Yes, I'm special.
And stickers too. And stickers.
And I'm good.
Yay! Yeah, we are so open sourcey today. That's great. Yeah, so I don't know what it means for Sasha to be on the board. It's not a voting position, but he'll be invited to all the board meetings, and his job will be to reflect some of the challenges and needs of the open source community. So I think that what we can do as a team, an open source team, is to maybe give Sasha some directions on some areas that we think that might be helpful. But I'm just really just so pleased that that happened.
Yeah.
Great. It's really great.
I think the word you're looking for is chuffed. You're
I don't know if
chuffed.
I'd ever used that word before.
Neither have I.
And now you have an opportunity.
How do you spell that?
CHUFFED.
Chuffed. I am so chuffed. All right, well, we'll begin the notes by letting everybody know that Tony gave us a new word for the week, chuffed. All right, let me go ahead and start. Why do I have weird fonts coming up? Should just be Arial. Okay. Why does it look like that? No text. Weird.
Sasha has posted in the group that he is unable to join the Zoom, and it's showing him like you are unable to rejoin the meeting because you were previously removed by the host.
Really? I don't see anything. Hey, Steve.
Yep.
You see somebody trying to come in? Because I think you're the host.
I asked him to join as a guest in the browser, but he had posted that in the general channel.
Posted in
It must have
Discord?
been one of his bots I clicked on that. I clicked on him instead of the bot.
Did you could you just click on invite and send him another invite?
Yeah. find them.
Arvin, could you let him know we're sending him an invite?
Or
Um,
Arvin, if you can invite him, I don't have his email right off the top of my head.
There's Brian.
Hi, Sasha joined.
Sasha! Yay!
Hey man,
Hey, Lucas.
congratulations.
Oh, thanks, man. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do yet, but I'll figure it out. When in doubt, just ask
Well,
Tracy.
I don't know what you're supposed to do too. That was how I started this call. Is like one of your responsibilities will be to communicate the needs and frustrations and from the open source side.
Oh, so I'm a
So
therapist.
you are representing the open source community for the CD Foundation.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
I'll have to learn. Yeah.
my suggestion to you would be to look at see if there's a Jenkins, when the Jenkins community has their meetings, and introduce yourself.
Oh, okay.
And do that with Shipwright or the ones that are left.
Okay, cool.
You can go to the CD
And
Foundation's website and just introduce yourself and, just start getting a feel for if, what people are thinking. It's kind of an important time to have a rep because the CD Foundation is sort of floundering, to be quite honest. It's not been taken out, but it's still floundering. And some of the open source projects want to go other places. So I think it's a good time to have a discussion with them.
Okay, cool. Thanks,
So
Tracy.
I just introduce
That makes
yourself.
complete sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations, Sasha. And by the way, your real background looks cooler than this is the first time I've seen your real background. It actually looks
That's
cooler.
this is my house, and then my wife always complains because she's like, "But everybody can see the slip that's keeping the window from rattling in the wind."
Well, that's an engineer for you. That's an engineer for you. Just fix it like it needs to be fixed.
It's not going on the landfill. I'm using it,
That's funny.
I love reuse. It's a great way, reuse, yes.
Upcycling. African style.
Kind of New Mexican style too.
Oh, really? Oh, then I'll fit right
yeah.
in. Perfect.
Oh yeah, it's
perfect.
totally New Mexican style.
I'm in a safe zone then, thank goodness.
Yes, you are so you are. Okay, let me just get my notes here. Elected to the CDF governing board as the open source representative, and Roxanne should be reaching out to you to do a blog, Sasha.
Yes, she's got some stuff for me to do. I've been talking with her.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've got to write like a profile for myself, which I started with. I'd rather deploy Kubernetes. I find that stuff the hardest thing to do.
I know. You can use your, your LinkedIn profile is actually looking pretty good.
Yeah, that's
If you
because of
want to use
Ortelius helping me shape it and make it sound better. Like Tony's input, your input, everyone here. Yeah.
I will
And I
let you
definitely, Sasha, would reach out to the CD events team
Okay.
as
Thanks,
well.
Tracy.
Don't forget them.
Yeah.
All right. Let's chat about what we needed to get done. So, Brian, in regards to the upcoming webinars, the job seeker webinars, you had spoken to a couple of recruiters. Would they be willing to do something in April?
Yeah. They should be. What I can reach back out and confirm.
Okay.
What's the topic that we want to use them for?
Resume writing and the tools that you can use to write resumes.
Okay, I'll ping and ask. And do you have an idea of what the date would be in April?
No, it should be sometime in the first of, because our first one's the first week of March. So we're gonna try to do it close to a monthly cadence. So if they have a week in April, that would be great. Early, like
Okay.
between the 1st and the 15th, let's say.
Okay, I'm checking now. I'll
Okay.
confirm.
Okay, so I'm gonna just put that as honeydew for you. April events. Resume, yeah, resume writing tools. Okay. All right. So today our big focus is SecureChainCon. I think we decided it's going to be May 16th. I need to put stuff together for Sessionize and update the banners. What we wanted to figure out today was, do we want to do a tagline? There was building trust at every commit as a possibility. I think I created a shared doc. Let me look to see if I ever did that.
And I really like that tagline. That
I think it's pretty good too.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's almost a done deal. Call it, book it. That's
Yeah.
Let me see what else we have out there though, just in case. Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble pulling up the minutes doc. Can someone repost it here for me? We appreciate it.
There's the minutes for you, Brian, and then
Thank you.
here is, make sure everybody should have access to this. That is the SecureChainCon doc, which I'm going to share my screen and bring it up. Or Zoom. Amazing how Zoom, there it is. Okay, so this shared doc is out there. I have a banner that I'm ready to post to Sessionize with the talks closing on April the 15th. So here's two potential taglines: building trust at every commit, disrupting legacy security for a safer future. That was sort of this one. I chat GPT'd Kate some of your thoughts about how do we show we're disrupting. Which building trust at every commit is very easy and simple, but it doesn't talk about the fact that we want to just disrupt. Oh,
Right.
smashing security silos, disrupting the old, defending the new. That was
Like-
another one. Why don't we all just quickly go out to our co-pilots and chat GPTs and see what kinds of slogans we might be able to come up with. Let's see if I have.
I actually like the first one, building trust.
At every commit, I think that's
Yeah.
probably going to be the one.
Yeah. I mean, I know it lacks some pizzazz, but I think compared to the others, it feels like the right tone. Some of the others feel like a little too much, smashing silos. But I will
Yeah,
see.
there's a whole bunch of silos that DevOps and even DevSecOps doesn't deal with. And legacy security is a whole different discussion, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's something like modernizing security for the whole supply chain. Let's see.
Here's one.
Let's not get too far ahead of, out over our skis here.
Well, I think there's more than one, yeah. I mean, not for the first one, but aren't we doing a few or no? Am I wrong there?
It'll just be a one tagline.
Oh, one tagline. Yeah, then go with the original.
And generally what the tagline for other conferences will be what they're going to focus on for that particular year. So the thing about building trust at every commit, if that, only problem I'm having with it is it feels too far left for what we do.
Right. Yeah.
We could probably say building trust at every release would be more, maybe more accurate. Should do that. But maybe that's not as easy to understand for some people.
That's a good point.
There's some like continuous. I'd like to land somewhere in between. Somewhere in between, because then release just swings all the way back right.
I know.
I'm playing with something that conceptually is at every achieving continuous security with every commit. Right, something that says, yeah, maybe the commit is the initiation, um, um, but that's our insurance for the rest of the pipeline. Building trust for every pipeline.
You know that there's a big thing right now, secure by design. If you put that in chat GPT, does it come up with something else? Out of curiosity. Does anybody like that? Secure by design. Have you heard of that?
I like it.
I think that's going to get way too far left in the development world.
Now, again, just because I missed this before, this is our tagline for SecureCon for this year, right?
Correct.
Okay.
What would we like? And maybe what we have to do, maybe why we're having trouble with it. So let's go back to our document. Let's stop talking about the tagline. What are the topics that we should be asking people to submit on?
That's a good point. How about, don't we want to know about how we find vulnerabilities within?
So vulnerability management. How about open source? How about CI/CD cybersecurity? Of which everybody, Kate was nominated for the chair of the CI/CD cybersecurity SIG. So we started the year good. We got some leadership coming out of our open source community, and that's amazing. It really is. Okay. Open source tooling.
What about threat modeling?
Yeah, we could do something on threat modeling.
And what about something around risk? I don't know if that's around the same thing, but. Risk assessment, or I know that they're sort of close, but between threat modeling, risk assessment.
Maybe.
Tracy, by the way, your volume is quite low.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah, I've learned that when the lapel mic goes to the desk, you can always tell. Which says it actually. I mean, it's acceptable when your lapel's down, but which emphasizes how good it sounds when it's up. How about a discussion around application security posture management, around ensuring application?
I like
And
that.
I think we could do something. I think this would bring a lot of people in.
Okay, do we want to? We flirted with secure by design. I'm thinking that actually would be a topic.
Here, yes, I think that
Here, like this.
yeah, I think security by design, which I also believe, Kate, speaks to working cross-functionally to have a comprehensive view on security, or is security by design just an application architecture discipline?
It's not just application architecture. That's where most people think about it because, well, you can get your infrastructure design pretty wrong too.
Well,
Right.
that's why I was thinking secure by design for the pipeline, and not necessarily your development, your source
sorry,
code.
guys.
Right.
So I do pipeline : secure by design.
Okay, so let's do this. Here is last year's description. I'm sorry, I got sneezes today. I'm going to copy
You don't
this all
have
over.
to write the abstract for the talks at this point. I think what we need are bullet points and then see what people propose. And the other thing we need is who's going to review the proposals.
Okay. Let me just pull this over so we have all of these other details that we worked on from 2024. Because we were pretty specific when we were doing our calls, thanks to Tony for keeping us sort of straight. Okay, so let's look at, let's review this. Is this what we still want to use for a potential and SecureChainCon is what the name is. At this point, we didn't know what the name was going to be. The ultimate online microconference for DevOps and security pros, hosted by Ortelius. Half day of insightful sessions, interactive workshops, and learning opportunities designed to help you stay ahead in the rapidly evolving world of software security and DevOps automation. Expert speakers from leading organizations will share experience, best practices, real-world case studies, integrating security into DevOps workflows, from secure coding practices to container security, supply chain management, threat modeling. Our sessions cover a wide range of topics to meet the diverse needs of DevSecOps professionals. Whether you're a seasoned security or DevOps pro or just starting your journey, SecureChainCon has something for everyone. And we did it on May the 24th, and this year it will be May the 16th. Let's do this. Let's do this. This is always fun to do.
I figured you were going to GPT with that.
Yeah, it's my best friend.
I mean, in reading it in hindsight, it's pretty well written, right?
Yeah.
In terms of a medium length description, not a ton I would change.
This is going to be a lot more fun. I can already
Are
tell
you
you.
feeling replaced? Are you feeling replaced by ChatGPT at home?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Casey?
at this job, I should be replaced by ChatGPT. No kidding.
It's
All right.
it's the best of human machine teaming.
I have never been a good writer.
The industrialization of 5.0. Welcome.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you can't do everything. Some people can, I can't.
No, I can't either.
Okay, welcome to SecureChainCon, the premier online microconference for DevOps and security pros, proudly hosted by Ortelius. Already that's better. Get ready for a half day of engaging sessions, hands-on workshops, and valuable learning experiences designed to keep you ahead in the fast-paced world of security and DevOps. Our lineup of speakers from top organizations will share their insights and best practices, studies on seamlessly integrating security into DevOps workflows. From secure coding practices and container security to supply chain management and threat modeling, our sessions cover a broad spectrum of topics tailored to DevOps professionals at all levels. Whether you're a seasoned expert just starting your career, there's something for you at SecureChainCon. Join us on May 16 for this dynamic online knowledge exchange and take your dev skills to the next level. Better, right?
I like it.
I'm going to that conference.
I have a suspicion you'll be presenting at this conference.
Oh, nice one, Tracy. Well said.
Okay, so the key takeaways here, we talked about shift left security, automation is key, culture of collaboration, threat intelligence and risk management. There you go, Kate. Compliance and governance. And then we had tracks where automating security tooling, securing cloud native applications, threat modeling and data generation, understanding the blockers, drivers, and solutions for apps SDLC more secure, compliance and governance KPIs. So actually, I think our tracks that we started out with up here are actually better.
Would it be of interest, do you think, if we spoke about what to do once you find vulnerabilities? I don't know, like what that bullet.
Vulnerability response and vulnerability patch management. Those are really good topics. Duh. Let's call that. Maybe we should do, so what would this look like if we did vulnerability response and patch management?
Or mitigation?
I'm going to keep with patch management because it speaks more to the CIC pipeline. And we could just say vulnerability patch management, and this could be vulnerability mitigation.
Okay.
What were some from the
Yeah.
bottom that we?
How much have we done in terms of I'm immediately drawn to security culture or building a culture of security. Building a culture of security is a talk. But I think it could be cool to invite talks that are more about the soft skills.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about that in security communities a lot, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
I have, I don't know, in a lot of years of doing it or trying to do it, never felt like I got developers moved from the latest cool new thing
Really, it
to
did not
security.
excite. It did not excite people, or just didn't have impact. You're saying.
Yeah, what I've found worked was somebody owning security and accountability in the development team, and then them working with the developers. Because the other thing is, there's lots of you got to answer questions and deal with ways to do stuff and all that. But my experience, at least, has been, now I speak as an architect, not as a developer, that was not where developers were really focused. If someone's got a better answer, great. But personally, another talk on, oh, we can build a security community is like, yeah, no, you can't.
But why don't we
May
talk
well
about
have a different view.
the why of it? Like, why does this become important, and how do you balance the necessary business reason for speed and security? How do we marry these two topics? You know?
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, and I get it, Tony. I think that's fair. I would also maybe argue we could maybe play with the wording. Kate, you get me thinking about maybe instead of calling out, it's like security, culture, and the business. So anything that talks beyond just the tactical and technical implementation of security to give us a broader view. And Tony, I do get, yeah, I think at the end of the day, we can have all the talks in the world, but when the developer gets in front of their IDE, you know, they're not thinking about building a security culture. But I would make the argument that we sketch it out for now. When we go to finalize, we can refine the wording, but we invite some sort of talks that are broader and or above the tactical implementation. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I've been right, so I've had to present in front of app developers around security, and a lot of times there's a lack of belief of, like what you're saying is just not true. And so how do we present something to show that it's true, especially in today's culture? And at the end of the day, the money, the time, all these other drivers that are real drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm a developer, I'm a lot more interested in, am I moving from Visual Studio to, one of the many new ones than I am, other things. But I think there was an interesting discussion that Mark Simos at Microsoft started on LinkedIn a day or two ago that relates to this higher level. What do you do when someone imposes a permanent exception around security? and they're in a position to impose it.
Oh, that seems frighteningly relevant to the times. But
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I know you want me to do this, but I convinced my executive not to let me not. I don't know if that's something we want to talk about in this, but
No, but I think it's real because I feel like since I've, doing this, way back around cybersecurity, is that by, we have to talk about security. We have to talk about cybersecurity. We have to talk about why it's relevant and that it can be really, I know I keep coming back to the word, consumable, but something that just doesn't have to be so daunting,
Well, on that line, that I think if we focus on not necessarily the developer or the architect, but on our direct audience, which would be DevOps and DevSecOps, kind of if we had a topic around cybersecurity, what does it mean to me as a DevOps person? Or what do I do about it as a DevOps person? That could be a good way to make it less daunting. You could even
that is the point of the CI/CD and cybersecurity.
yeah. So you could say cybersecurity 101 for DevOps.
And that would be a great title for a talk.
That would be the title.
We're building tracks out, not talks, right, guys?
Right now, we're just trying to build, we probably have more than enough tracks right here. I think that we just have to decide if these are the ones we want to use or if we could take some of them out. We have vulnerability mitigation, vulnerability patch management, CI/CD, cybersecurity. I think that what we're missing is SBOMs and why.
And I would add in terms of the tracks, not talks, Steve. I am kind of for an intro track, right? Like cybersecurity 101, actually, especially as we're out here talking to job seekers and trying to engage new entrants into the space and market. Could be cool to have a 101 track.
Well, like Kate was saying, what developers and DevOps people, they'll just go glassy-eyed immediately as soon as you talk about cybersecurity, because they have it's such a big, broad topic that it's what does it mean to me as a guy writing scripts for a pipeline?
Right. So, but I think we have in here building a culture of security, and I think that's fine to keep it in there.
How many tracks and talks did we have last year? We had like 3 tracks.
I don't well, last year we had, our tracks were automating security tooling via the pipeline, security cloud native application challenges, threat modeling, understanding the blockers, drivers, and solutions for making apps more secure, compliance, and governance. And I don't know off the top of my head how many people we ended up with talks. I think we ended up with 5.
That's what I thought. That was my. So if we put out there 6 tracks and we get 4 submissions for 4 tracks, that we can make it work.
That's why I think we have too many here. Maybe this one we just put it together. Mitigation and patch management, cybersecurity tooling, and open source.
I like those 2 so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
I think that having one on SBOMs is important.
Yeah.
Maybe we do it this way: SAST, DAST, and ASPM. I think that the security by design may be a little bit too broad. And I don't think we should do Y security now. What if we do it like that?
Okay,
Okay. Everybody good with those?
I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah, looks good.
All right. So now let's go back up to the key takeaways we probably need to work on a little bit. Let's just make this one, update this one to security in the DevOps pipeline. Early in, just say importance of integrating security tooling into the DevOps pipeline to identify and roll me at the source across. I'll just say from code to cloud. I'm not if we go back down here, this should be something about vulnerability management. Automation and devs from in and controlling vulner. And I'll chat GPT all this and leave this for everybody so we can think about automation controlling vulnerabilities from automated security testing. I'll just say from security from SaaS DAS to continuous vulnerability scanning. And we'll, I'll just say learn why and how to control vulnerabilities from SaaS DAS to continuous vulnerability scanning for the automation of compliance checks and policy enforcement and proof. Okay, so that's good for now. I'll just leave that. Okay, we got this culture of collaboration. We can still leave that. But where's our others? So we got, touched on that. I touched on that. I don't think we have to touch on that in particular. From okay, put S-bombs in there. We got one for threat modeling. We covered that. And then we have the culture of collaboration. I think we can take this one off for this. I think that does it for us. You know, you guys, this is a funny story. So on Fridays I do Tech Strong Gang, so they record them for Monday. So it's probably running right now. And I don't know anything about football. I'm a hockey person. I know nothing about football. Oh, I forgot to tell it to rewrite that. I was doing it anyways. And they decided to kick off the call with doing predictions who's going to win the Super Bowl. And I'm like, I don't know. They don't have hockey sticks, but I chat GPT'd it. And chat GPT claimed that the Kansas City would win by -1.5. And I'm like, this is what it says, but how do you get a half point in football? No, like you can't. Like, good. I didn't think so. Okay, so here's the chat GPT version of that section. Discover the critical role of integrating security tooling within the DevOps pipeline to proactively identify and remediate vulnerabilities from code to cloud. Master strategies for controlling vulnerabilities, including SaaS, DAS, SBOMs, and continuous vulnerability scanning. Learn how to automate compliance checks and policy enforcements to enhance efficiency and consistency. Understand the importance of fostering a culture of shared responsibility between dev, ops, and security teams to implement DevSecOps best practices. And then, oops, I put the space in the wrong place. Oops. Explore how to leverage threat intelligence and risk management frameworks to prioritize security efforts. Pretty good.
Cool.
All right. Okay. So before we run out of time, which we have, technically 20 minutes left, but we've chewed on this for a while now. We did all that. Are we still happy with the with this? I think it makes it too limiting. We're building trust at something, but what are we building trust around? I don't think that reflects this. Let me do this. Let me ask GPT to write a tagline, oops, for this conference description. Something shorter. You guys can't see that, can you?
Yeah, I can.
You can see my chat GPT? Okay.
Yeah. So far, not so much. I don't appreciate chat GPT right now.
Okay, well, there we go. We got one CI/CD step at a time. What if we do it that way? What does that sound like? If we make that more every CI/CD step.
I'm not there yet.
I don't think I am
But
either,
I'm
Kate.
nobody. I'm one person. So
No, I'm not there yet either. If believe me, I know this crowd well enough that if it works, everybody will be like, "Yay, that's it." That's not happening.
I wonder if we play with the word pipeline.
No, shift with confidence.
This security ate my cheese. Doesn't really mean anything, but it's catchy.
Well, the other thing is we don't have to have a tagline.
Okay.
We didn't last year. We don't have to have one. So I say for now, for the purpose of this call, we not worry about the tagline. And if somebody wants to play with it, great. If we want to decide to say building trust at every commit, which is fine, because the commit is the beginning of the pipeline, right? So it would be nice if people understood, though, building trust at every commit and forward, or building trust at, something
Every
of
commit
that
is a
sort.
journey.
Yeah. But the other stuff we got done, which is great, because now I can set up Sessionize, and I can start working on a website, web page for this. With this,
We
with
still
this
have to
information.
talk about, talks are submitted. Do we want to have some people do the, review the talks?
Okay, so let's go through the weeks then. So I'd like to get this open this week on Sessionize. So we'll open the talks. I'd like to get them closed. Remember that it's May 16th is our day. I'd like to close the CFPs by April 1st. And then that week we would have to we'd have to do a call for any of us who want to go through the session, go through Sessionize. And I think we open it up to the team. I'll just schedule a time. I know John Linford said he would be interested in helping with identify the sessions. So I think that's just one call. We can create a team to do it, but that's just more work. I feel like just opening it up to anybody who wants to participate would be fine. And then, because as soon as we get it, as soon as it closes, if we can identify who we're going to select, then we can notify everybody that week, and that gives everybody 6 weeks to get their act together. And then I would have to say that I would want the deadline for talks submittals by May, I'd say no later than May 5th. So we need to give them a month.
Okay, sounds like a way to do it.
And let's look to see when is our call in April. So we have a call on the 7th. But I'm guessing that if we close on the 1st, I would ask to do a call on Thursday the 3rd.
Okay.
So let me put that down. And then notifications would go out April 3rd. And I'll go ahead and I'll schedule a call on that day through the Ortelius calendar so everybody sees it instead of mine. And then after that, it's all my work to get everybody to get the talk submitted by the 5th so I can produce them in any way that they need to be produced. Sometimes I actually go through and I'll edit them because not everybody does their own editing. So it takes me a little while to get a few of them to get them done. But that should be enough time for me to get them done by the 16th. And I think that we're gonna minimize, we'll probably just do LinkedIn Live. I'm not sure if we're gonna try to use StreamYard again. Because we have a lot of problems. So we probably need to talk about that, but that doesn't have to be done today. I think the rest, what we've done today gives me what I need to get the Sessionize up and get the announcements out, which is the most critical thing to do this week. I know it feels like May's a long way away, but when you really get right down to it, it's not at all
Yes.
very far away.
Yeah, it's not that far off.
No, it's not. And then I don't know if the CFPs are still open. I believe they are open until the 18th. But if anybody would like to submit, and Sasha, I know that travel is a problem for you, but you'll get invited to. I think you'll get invites. You'll start getting invites to things from the Linux Foundation. So just be forewarned. And some of them, they can help with travel in some cases. Oh, what was I going to
Yeah,
look
I'll
at?
just, as long as I find out where to submit my expense claim, it'll be fine.
Well, they will. Since you're on the CDF board, I don't know what kind of money that they do have, but if you get invited to some of the Linux foundations, like the member summit, if you're on boards, you'll get
Oh,
invited to some of that stuff, which is coming
oh,
up.
cool.
I wouldn't be too worried if you get invited, go. It's interesting. It'll be in Napa. I'm probably not going to be making it there
You
this year,
can
but
you can ask Roxanne about them paying for you to fly on your
yeah,
travel.
Napa.
I
What's
would say
Napa?
the
Is Napa
It's our
Napa
wine
a
country.
city?
yeah, but the
Oh,
where I would if
California.
you're yeah, where I would suggest you try to get to if you can would be to CDCon and Open Source Summit in Denver. Because that's where all the developers are, that's where all the open source developers are going to be.
Oh my word, it's in wine country. Oh, oh, it's
And
perfect.
no, this one's not. This one's in Denver, but Denver's actually really fun.
Yeah.
You can
And then I'm
talk.
coming down to Santa Fe.
Absolutely. You would definitely do that.
I
You
don't
have
know if I
6
have to hitchhike.
days. You just come back with us. We'll be there.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
so here's some tracks that they're doing that I thought was interesting. So these are the high level tracks for Open Source Summit. So CDCon's one of them, but you can also do things around cloud and containers. So Sasha, you could do something in the area of, setting up a Raspberry Pi, for example.
Yeah, I've got to sell platform engineering. I've got this platform engineering tool called from Humanitech.
And then
Maybe I
there's
could do
Open
something around
GovCon.
that.
Steve and I both submitted a talk for this.
Cool.
And then there's a section on open source leadership, which I decided not to try to do 3 talks. But
Oh,
Kate, this might be something you'd be interested in doing something in this area or Open GovCon.
Yeah, I'll definitely go out there and take a look.
Yeah, so everybody, if you want to do this, you have 6 days.
Oh,
And when you
no.
submit for the talk, you can list on there that you need help for travel.
Cool. I love
when
Denver.
is it? In 6 days' time.
6 days that you have to before they close the talks.
Nice.
Oh, I see.
So the CFP closes on the 17th.
All
So you
right.
have a week from today, or Sunday,
Just,
February 16th for Europeans.
okay.
All right, and that's all I have for today, and we are close now to the end. Did I forget something that we may have needed to chat about? And Utkarsh, are you still on the call?
Yep, yep.
Any chance you think you might be able to make it to Denver?
Mm, I think the problem here is what I'll be like speaking, what topics I would be speaking, because lately, like I haven't doing much on the DevOps side. I'm doing a lot of these AI, ML machine learning stuff. So, what will be that one thing that people will be interested to listen?
So,
Machine
this is
learning is
an
cool.
area that I have been interested in. Do you know, from that perspective, is there anything that is being done around testing those models as part of the CI/CD pipeline?
Yeah, we do use DevOps services like Azure DevOps. I haven't seen anybody using Jenkins for that. But like it's very similar to application development. So we create a package and that then package will, instantiate a pipeline and all these evaluation will happen on that particular package. There are a lot of things like data poisoning and all those things, which are, sort of vulnerabilities here because we do use these what you call dependencies there, right? So similar to the application, you have a software bill of material for your packages that get deployed.
I think a topic in that area would be very, very useful. And in fact, I would love for you to do something in that for SecureChainCon.
Okay.
This area is really hard for DevOps engineers to see into at this point because they're not developers, right? So they're not starting to work with this stuff. And what kind of workflow tools do they use? Is there a whole new host of like ML ops tools?
Yeah, mostly these like PaaS services are provided by these cloud platforms. We have MLflow provided by Azure, and for pipelines we have in cloud we have a ML pipeline. GCP has some kind of pipeline for machine learning.
And do you
They're
know
like
if it could Jenkins be called to execute one of those uh, I guess you'd call them exterior pipelines?
mm, honestly, I haven't seen that kind of like design pattern where we are using these traditional pipelines to do these kind of things. I'll have to see. I'll have to see. Because in Jenkins, the agent is just just a virtual machine, right? But in most of these cases, these pipeline will have the the agent that are running on GPUs and high performing hardwares.
Well, if you could help teach us about that, I think it will be a very, very good subject.
Okay, okay.
I think it will be a very popular subject. It's something that I think DevOps needs to understand that's happening. Because we think about DevOps as including testing, but mostly we're still talking about testing applications, and we're not testing every kind of component for that application. And I've heard this in the past this discussion, and that's why I pinged you to say, are you still on? And can I ask you this question?
Well,
It's an important topic.
well, even just a simple compare and contrast,
Yes.
um, an application pipeline versus a large language model pipeline. That
Okay.
that would be extremely helpful for DevOps people and DevSecOps people that are having to start to learn how to deal with large language models.
Which brings me back to this. Maybe we should have something, and maybe instead of SAS, DAS, and ASPM, which I think will get some folks from other tools to speak. Maybe we have to add another one that says AI. Uh, um,
I like
I don't know
that.
how to put it. I was going to put LLM testing
Yeah,
and pipelines.
yeah.
Utkarsh, would that be a proper way to frame that whole discussion?
Yeah, yeah. So there are like terms like AI ops, LLM ops, ML ops. So all these terms are already there.
So the CD Foundation tried to take that on. If you go over, can you guys still see my, am I still sharing? Or are you guys looking at me?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, hang on, let me share. So I thought that there was a SIG in MLOps in CDF. Yep, that's right there. I don't know how active it is anymore, but in the SIG for the CI/CD cybersecurity, I included uh, I included the line about basically AI and the DevOps pipeline.
Okay.
So it's a subject that the CD Foundation initially tried to have bring together. But as you can see, I don't even know if this group is remotely active. Terry Cox was managing it, and he was also managing the best practices. And I don't know if they're active whatsoever. But I know that there was an interest in it in the beginning, so I feel like it was something we should go back to. We should probably go back to, at least as a track for SecureChainCon. And I think that if you were to submit a proposal on it, whoops, I didn't want to actually do that. The tracks. This one. You should open AI and plus data. This is where I would put that. I know that this group needs to have more understanding, the DevOps folks, but I don't really see that they've added. Well, they have CI/CD. We got CI/CD security in there. Right here, the first one. I'm looking at it. Submitted under that AI and ML and CI/CD.
Okay.
And I think we should copy that for ours. I think that's the best way. That's a really good way to define it. All right. So that was the last thing I had in mind. Did we miss anything? Do you think, anybody? Well, if not, I will get this stuff out there this week. I'll get it published by Friday. So we have session eyes out there for CDCon or for SecureChainCon. And please think about submitting a talk for Open Source Summit. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. Have an awesome week, and we'll probably talk to you on Thursday.
Bye-bye.
To
Yes,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.